Hello, guys. Welcome to another artist live chat. We're going to be joined very shortly by Srishti, Rana, Menon. I just want to play you this incredible video to kind of set the tone, and you get to see what Srishti is all about. And then we'll bring her into the live stream. So here we go. Here is Srishti talking about her work. It's not playing the technical hitch, but let me bring in Srishti. She can talk about her work. I'm not quite sure what happened to the video, but let's bring in Srishti so she can have a look. Hello, Srishti. Welcome to our live chat. Hello,
Hi.
Srishti is in India. Amazing. Welcome. Thanks for joining us this morning for us, this afternoon for you. So tell us a little bit about your work. I only kind of played the first little bit, and I don't know, technical hitch. Don't you just love technology? So give us a little summary about what you do, and then everyone will be up to speed.
Hi everyone. Just about the video, I think there were two videos. So it's on my Facebook. This is just a little introductory kind of a promotional thing that the gallery is using, but the video is there in the Facebook thing. And so I'm Srishti. I'm an artist. I belong to India, and that's where I'm practicing from right now. My work is mostly abstract. I know Gemma because I was a British Council scholar. So when I started out, I was doing a job here in India, and I got a British Council award. That's a Charles Wallace India Trust Award, which enabled me to go and do my master's in England at Winchester School of Art. This was in long back now, in
It does, doesn't it?
2000.
It seems a long time ago.
Yeah. This was in 2004, 2005, and I was there in England for a few years, about 3 or 4 years. And the time that I spent in England played a huge part in, I think, becoming an artist today. So that's where I did my master's. My bachelor's I have done from a very, very lovely and renowned college from India called National Institute of Design. After which I did my master's in UK, and I spent 4 years there. I visited, I think, so many museums and galleries, and all the shows that I kind of saw in UK was what kind of propelled me into being an artist. So all this while I was doing textiles, but I think my whole attention or what was affecting me was all the galleries, the paintings, everything that I was kind of imbibing from there. I came back in about 2008, and initially I worked for the British Council. I went back to working in textiles. I got married, and by then I kind of started feeling that my textiles were much more individualistic. And around then in 2010, I got another award from the Swiss Arts Council, and this was a visual arts award, where I spent a few months with the Lucerne University of Applied Art and Sciences. Um, and by this time, I already knew that. So, this project that I did in Switzerland was a small project in textile art. And at the end of this 5, 6 months, when I did my exhibition, Art Basel happened. So I still remember visiting that, and it transported me back to UK, because when I used to go to all the museums and look at all the shows, and I wanted to get out from there, like my friends had to literally pull me out. And when I had gone to textile shows, like at Winchester, they take you to Premier Vision in Paris. And I was like, all right, there. I was like thinking to myself, oh God, I should be so much more excited about this. But I was like, oh, okay, all right, let's get back, and let's go around the town in Paris rather than being at Premier Vision. But when I was in Art Basel, I was like, okay, I'm not going anywhere from here, and I just want to, soak in all the art and everything. And that is the one defining moment that I kind of really, really felt that this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I didn't know that point of time how it will shape out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and all my awards, all my channels, my circuits were all in textile design. And,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing very, very well in that.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was just my a soul connect, which I kind of knew that from this moment onwards, I'm going to be painting,
Yeah.
and that's what I've been born to do. So I came back, and 2010 itself, I started my journey. I started painting. I think after that I have been painting every single day.
Yeah.
um, and it took me 7 years to put up my first solo. That happened in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and that was very much led by me. And I did it in a really good gallery. But the whole thing of getting everything together on your own, having that kind of confidence in your work, exposing it, taking it to a professional level.
Yeah.
Uh, that's what I did in 2017 with my first solo.
Okay.
And after that, it's just been constant hard work, constant.
Yeah. But it
I
sounds
part
hard
time.
work to that point, Srishti,
Yeah.
really, because you had to really put yourself out there. I mean, you're saying you won this award and that award and here and there, but that must have been incredible amount of time and work for you. You putting yourself out there and constantly creating as well, and not stopping doing your art alongside of the promotions and the marketing. So, you've been an artist for a long time. Someone's asking, did you always want to be an artist? I take it right from school that was your thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So this moment in Art Basel, when I kind of look back, I was kind of just transported. I had a kind of revelation, and I remember that when I was in school, when I was very little,
Mm-hmm.
any and all of my awards were the gold medals were all like in the assembly. They were all for art,
Art.
and you kind of realize at some point in your life that this is what it's what the talent that has been put into me, and that's the
Yeah.
kind of the voice that I want to take forward. So yes, I would guess that you always know that you're going to be an artist, but it wasn't revealed to me until that very moment that I have to put other things away and just
Yes.
focus on this. And
Yeah.
every time I went back to my college, to teach, all the faculty there and everyone was like, "You're so good at, textiles. Are you sure? Why don't you just put up a little exhibition here?" And but no, so
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
it's really pushing
But
myself
how
to.
did you develop kind of the whole process that you go through with your paintings? They'll see when they go to your website or the lovely talks, and I already posted them onto our social media site. So hopefully they've seen those, because it's just such a lovely. It seems like a very therapeutic process. Like it's very well, it's just beautiful because it's very much about the color, you say, and the medium that you're using. So just talk us through that process and how you became to learn it and kind of develop into that style. I mean, is abstract always as well been your thing, or did it very much evolve?
So I have to say that one, I think I'm still learning, still
Mm-hmm.
finding my voice, and
Okay.
every day that I paint, I find it kind of gets stronger.
Mm-hmm.
In India, the whole most of art is very narrative based. It's very story based. We have a culture which celebrates storytelling, and
Mm-hmm.
most of our paintings, most of our artists focus on that kind of a narrative, which is very detailed, which
Mm-hmm.
it talks a lot about. It has some kind of a story around it. It can't. It's mostly not just beautiful just because it is, and I was very, very attracted towards it.
Mm-hmm.
My work has always been a lot about color, and that's always been a strong influence. That's because I came from a textile background, and India as a country is full of color. And when I was in UK and I wasn't surrounded by color, my work became very colorful. That's
Mm.
when I realized that I love color. Before that, I was always afraid.
Okay.
So color was always a strong point I carried with me. um, I have to say, at the Tate, I still remember looking at Rothko and,
Mm-hmm.
looking at Bridget Riley and looking at Hockney and so many of them. Uh, and the kind of forms and the color and everything that was there in abstract, it spoke to me. And I
Yeah.
always felt when I started that. I'm going to start off like that. So because I
Hmm.
wasn't taught as an art, I mean, as designers, we do a lot
Yeah.
of it, but it's
Hmm.
not the typical kind of way that you're taught to think
Yeah. Yeah.
going forward as an artist. So I kind of didn't have those rules and boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought that's how I'm going to work around it. So for me, what was very important was I was using art as a connect to myself,
Mm.
my subconscious, and I
Yeah.
really wanted to kind of put whatever's inside literally there. So I was more interested in, the quality of the pigments, how a black pigment would differ from a red pigment if they had the same viscosity, or how
Mm-hmm.
would viscosities make them behave differently. I was interested in so a lot of my painting was horizontal. I was very interested in pouring out paint and checking out the center of gravity of the canvas.
Wow,
So
it sounds
I kind
extremely
of,
experimental. A long process then of just
yeah,
endless experiments and samples just to see where it was taking you, right?
yeah, totally.
So many.
So also a lot of my work was is done with a lot of paints. I could have bucketfuls of paint,
Mm.
and when I pour it out, I kind of get into that whole process of
Yeah.
it's really like a meditation. And then
Mm.
am I trying to tilt the canvas a little bit? Am I allowing today? Am I allowing pain to flow? Am I allowing things to happen, or am I trying to control? Am I happy with just
Yeah.
letting go? And those are the conversations that kind of go around in my head every day when
Okay.
I paint, and that's where my paintings take shape.
Yeah. Wow.
So
It's a great. Someone's put, where'd you get your inspiration? But obviously, looking at all those artists, I mean, that's probably what you'd give as advice to people, right? Look, go and explore these artists, go and see their work. I mean, I know we're in lockdown. Let's hope we all come out of this soon. But we've got lots online that they can explore. But we do try and encourage a lot of artist research because you're going to find someone, aren't you, that just for you personally is going to stand out and
absolutely.
inspire
I
you.
think you guys are so much more luckier because I would want to travel to London every month, I think, from India, but that's not possible. But while you guys are still there, you have so much more access to all the beautiful artists and the galleries
Mhm.
and everything. So whenever possible, do go out there and spend time. I mean, just don't even think about really what you're, because all the time when we are absorbing, it's actually not at a conscious level. You think you're doing something, but something else is
Mhm.
you know you're soaking in something else. And as far as inspiration goes, nature also has been a huge part of my work and
Okay.
inspiration, not in the sense of imitating it, but
Mhm.
more I like to go and spend time in nature, and that's where I kind of see streams of water flowing, and I see
Yeah.
the water flowing as per the contours of the earth, the
Mhm.
gentle movements of the leaves. Nothing is rushed until there's a storm.
Mhm.
And it's I kind of like to play with all those influences on my canvas. So maybe I'm trying to play God or not. I mean, that's
Yeah, yeah.
really, but that's where I think nature influences my work a lot. About
Amazing.
letting
So there
things
you go,
be is my,
Cassia. Oh,
yeah.
it's Caprice actually. I think this is Caprice. This is her mom's account. Hello, Caprice. She's just tuning in to watch. Ah, this is just so great then. So, because we obviously with our students, especially when they're starting out, we learn, let's say, fundamentals, form, tone. We do learn about
Yeah.
color, but our students do hold back when it comes to your kind of art, where you have to really think and make it personal. It's as if they need to imitate, as you say, they need to observe, and even though those skills are useful because you learn about those subjects and objects, did you learn that process as well early on in your art career, education career?
Yes.
Were you a drawer? I mean, did you learn those things? Do you think it helps at all, or did you really break free from that with the way you work now?
I think it does help, and I think we learn. I learned while in school, and I
Hmm.
used to have a teacher from one of the best painting schools in India. So she had learned from there, and I was like her favorite student. So I used to go and spend all my lunch breaks with her learning oil painting in the Shanti Niketan way when I was in school. And after that, in when you study design in India or even at Winchester, I think you have your basic exercises of, like you said, representation and techniques. Your basic drawing, learning about color theory. In fact, that's a very important part of anybody who's studying textiles and stuff. So I do think it matters. And
We've lost you. Let's see. We'll come back in a second. Come on, signal. Pick back up. Just waiting for Srishti to come back. We've lost. The signal's gone. I'll reach out to her and just let her know. Let's see. Chatting away about her work. She's fascinating though, isn't it? This type of art. Let me just let her know that. Oh yeah, she's cut down. There you go. So she'll come back in a second. Please check out Srishti's website so you get to see her talk about her process and you get to actually see the artwork being done. It's absolutely incredible. I would love for our students to try and break out soon from their kind of formal element work, which we do very, very closely in the first part of our courses when we learn about form and observation. And as Srishti was saying, it is important, but the visual elements, the meaning and the purpose and the personal input into your art is also really, really important to explore just for your own, know-how and your own, those students that do create art that's really personal to them do get a really amazing response from it, because that's where towards the end of especially the level 2 courses that we run, we really want the students to push out into their own areas. So hopefully in seeing Srishti's work, you see that the whole observational real life stuff is a foundation, but it doesn't have to be where your art ends up going. And if you want to explore how Srishti works, watch her videos, and then you can explore and experiment with that way of working also. So Srishti met me when we were kind of working together at the university on the south coast here in the UK, and our background, our field was textiles. So that's kind of what we were going into together. But now to have this solo exhibition and to go all that way, it just shows that you can go all that way with your art. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, I'd just love to do this and I'd love feedback and I'd love that kind of tutoring one-to-one to kind of encourage me and help me with my work, then do reach out to me. Let me put my email up while we wait for Srishti. Hopefully she'll be able to come back in a second. There's my email if you want to ask about anything about OCAD and the courses that we run. And if you're watching this as a recording later on, do get in touch if you want to ask Srishti anything else. She'll be still around. I'll be able to send on your questions and queries and get some feedback back to you. But yeah, if you join us at OCAD, you'll be able to work with artists like Srishti in our lessons and get some comments on your work that way. So we really hope you are excited by this and get in touch if this is something you'd really love to do. Also, please check out our websites. You'll find through that website, drawandpaintforfree.artcoursework.com, you will find free tutorials. You will find all our artist chats. You'll find our YouTube and Facebook groups and all of that stuff. So please subscribe and just follow all the free stuff and reach out to get some feedback for free to see if this is something that is going to be, a career changer maybe for some of you. So I will come back online later with Srishti if we can get her back online. She is in India. OCAD and myself, Srishti, wish you and your family all the health and well-being going forwards. We know you're in a really tough time at the moment in India. Let's hope we all come out of this real soon and we can get back to these galleries and we can visit wonderful exhibitions like Srishti's. Hers is online at the moment, so you'll be able to see all of her work on her website, so do check her out. Across all our social media channels and in the descriptions for these videos, you'll find all of her links, so do have a look. I'll stop it there because I'm not quite sure, maybe there's power cuts, these things happen, don't they, in India. So let's thank Srishti from all of us. Thanks for the view that were sending in your comments. Lots of you really interested about, did you always want to be an artist? Where was your inspiration from? Lots of questions like that. Where do I start? But I think Srishti did cover most of that. Oh, I think she's coming back. So we'll talk a little bit more. We'll find out a little bit more about her work right now. Let's see, because there's some work in the background, wasn't there, that I really want her to show us. So let's bring Srishti back in. Hello, Srishti, are you okay?
Hi.
The signal went.
I'm so sorry. There was some kind of a technical glitch this
Yeah,
time.
don't be sorry. It happens. We're all used to online chats by now, I think, during lockdown. So we were talking about like the influences and how the fundamentals help, and seeing, you know,
Yes.
getting the understanding of art and appreciation for all those things, because I think those things can then, especially like if you went down the route of color, other, you know, will do form, won't they, and like to work with shapes and forms and light and shade and things like that. And so those fundamentals really help students, we feel. So we kind of teach that early on, but by foundation studies they kind of go off like you and take their own route, which is wonderful. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can now. I got
okay, great. So very quickly then, before we go, about your work, it's behind you. I mean, visually it's just so striking, absolutely beautiful. Were you always working quite big? Is that so you get the freedom, as you say, to tilt the canvases and play with the media? Is that why it's so big?
Yes, totally. I think when I started, I realized that I think only my very few initial paintings were small. And then I was so much about expression and about gestures and about really putting things out there, that a 36 by 48 was a minimum size that I kind of feel comfortable working on. I do work on at times on paper as well. And those works are very interesting because I always find when I'm working with my bigger scale canvases, I always have something small, perhaps on paper, going on. It kind of helps me, that contrast helps me think clearly. So when I have these really bigger ones and I'm waiting for them to dry or to take shape or slowly thinking about what's happening next, I'm always working on a smaller one, perhaps on a slightly different medium, where the work is much more detailed. And so it's a kind of a very interesting process that every artist finds for themselves, I think, when they do start really working.
How often do you get to paint something that big? I mean, how quickly do you have to like think, right, I'm going to do this tomorrow? Or is it kind of when the moment comes to you, you know, you just think, oh, I want to have a go now, I'm feeling in the mood for this?
So I think I'm quite disciplined in the sense that I make it a point that I paint every day. Like a 9 to 5, I have to be in my studio and I have to be painting. And I'm the kind of person, if I fear something, I will want to go and do exactly that. So I like, my room is right now filled with massive canvases, actually, which I can't show you because they're all sort of packed away. But I always get these big canvases made, and they're always there. And I kind of just I look at them and I get scared that, oh my god, big white canvas. So one whole day I'll be like, oh shit, what am I going to do? But I leave them around, and slowly the first step comes to me, and from then onwards it's always step by step. So one step at a time.
Because
don't give
we
up.
obviously do a lot of processes where they develop ideas and they keep experimenting until they kind of feel that the final piece is kind of coming to them. But your process isn't quite like that now. You would kind of create the big art and then just see what happens. It's not like it's a big planned lots of trials to get the final piece. That's not kind of the process. Is that a process you went through before with your textiles more so, where your ideas would develop?
Totally rightly said, because that was kind of the problem I had in textiles when I started
Okay.
working in the industry. It has to be based on a certain process, and you have to be able to kind of plan and do it. And
Yeah.
for me, whenever I'm doing something expressive, it's always very intuitive. I know where I'm going to start, but I don't know where I'm going to end.
Okay.
You know, so it's totally unplanned. But I
Yeah.
do kind of get started in the sense of colors, and sometimes I do some smaller ones. Just I'll just show you something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like my, and that's from Winchester School of Art. I've been holding it for, onto it for so many years. So like this one, okay.
Okay.
So this one at the back. So I kind of this is a little bit of my more controlled series, where
Yes.
I little bit calculate and do what I'm doing. So for
Mm-hmm.
that, I kind of make it out on paper,
I
and I
see.
see how the colors are
Yeah,
interacting.
you're
And
planning colours more so than composition, let's say. You'll see how
yes,
it
yes.
evolves after. Uh-huh.
But for this one, this is another kind of series which I do, which absolutely no, you can't plan it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what shape, once you put your pigment on the canvas, what kind of shape it's going to take.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I enjoy, because I try and manipulate the
Yes.
shapes by
Mm-hmm.
putting tubes or certain things under my canvas.
Yeah.
And then the water's flowing the other side and run to the other side, and then I decide, oh, just let it fall or let it go off,
Yeah.
or
It's
I
not
can
like you
frame
can
it. So
replicate it again. It's not like you're planning,
no,
oh, I'm going to do it slightly different this time. Everything's going to be different every time. It's an
yes,
exciting process. It's really lovely. I think that's really nice for our students to see, because I think they could break away and have that freedom with their art. And I think for some, it's going to really suit them. These processes are all nice to learn. And I think you showing that you do plan colour and things can show that it's very useful just to have some kind of, thought, a starting point, as you
a
say.
process, yeah.
But what your process sounds like then, though, is a lot of reflection afterwards, to kind of think about
True.
what happened to the art and how it evolved. And then you can
Yes.
think about, as you were saying earlier, those stories and how it became to be. So those kind of reflections and, the thought process happens after it's created, almost, as opposed to before, which I think must be
Yeah.
really lovely.
Yes. So once I've got one color down and the water is evaporating, so I also use um, the temperatures that we have here. So, it's about
Okay.
44, 45 degrees. So
Mm-hmm.
my work also has a lot to do with the kind of the climate that I'm living in.
Yeah.
Hence, I use that much quantity of water, and I know the minute it touches the canvas, it's going to start drying up. And
Yes.
that's where the fun element also is, and that's also the unpredictability of it.
Yes.
But once I start on one of them, then yes, it's all about every half an hour seeing what's happening, hence
Yeah. In the
planning the
moment.
next one. And sometimes it can still expect that I'll know what's going to happen, but I'm surprised every
You never
single
do.
time,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
they just say, "No way, Srishti, you go do what you think." But once we're on the canvas, pigment is like, "I'm going to do what I want to do."
Yeah. Oh, well, I really hope our students kind of follow this process and see. I think as well, though, it's important to mention that obviously this art is incredibly important, personal to you, and is very much, as you were saying, about the culture and where you live. I mean, it's very
Yeah.
much about where you are and your surroundings as well. I mean, the weather, as you say, the storytellings, that must be part of your, your memories and your upbringing. Almost everything must be coming together in your art. And so everyone
Yes.
has to find that way about them, don't they? That point of connection with their art. What is it? Is it something they've experienced? Is it, as you say, a culture or where they live, a feeling? I mean, I'm sure lockdown has caused a lot of, emotive other things that they could put in your art from what we've been experiencing. I'm sure it's going to change art, in the immediate future, with all these current experiences and stuff. Do you think it's affected you as well, how you've approached your art, just what you're experiencing now?
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say, I mean, the first lockdown, I was kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going to take a break and paint lots of florals and stuff because that's like holiday for me. Like when I'm not doing abstract, I'm doing floral. But by this lockdown, and it's so apocalyptic right now that I'm planning a canvas, and I was telling my husband, I'm going to paint it in black, and he was like, why are you going to suddenly all do a black? I think, and I said that because that's what I'm feeling right now. I don't feel like but strangely enough, I put one of the paintings which kind of was very layered, and the central portion looks black, and put it out on the internet, in my Instagram page. And I got so much feedback from artists from all over the world saying that don't make it black. We all want hope and we want things that should lift us right now and all of that. So I think, yes, you get affected by what's happening. I think also that artists have a huge responsibility right now. Whether we set out to say, okay, this is what I'm feeling and this is what I'm going to express, but you also are expressing the collective subconsciousness of the society in a way. What humanity is going through right now. And so you have to go and do that, but there's also a responsibility on whether you want to portray all doom and gloom, or whether you want
Yeah.
to spread that message of hope and joy from your art, and you can do that
Yeah.
as well. um,
Yeah, I think
it's
you're right. I think we're all feeling very hopeful now and kind of excited that kind of the end is coming, hopefully for India too, very, very soon, that we're going to be coming out the other side. And that will start, as you say, being reflected in how we feel and in the art that we're seeing around. So, oh, Srishti, thank you so much for meeting us online, talking about your art. It
I'm
really is
humbled.
an inspiration, really.
Thank you for having me. I mean, I'm very, very thankful.
We are too. So thank you, Srishti. If anyone comes back from watching our recording with questions for you, I told them when you disappeared for a moment that we'll get you, the questions to you, and I'm sure you'll happily chat to our students if they reach
Yes,
out and want you as their artist inspiration for their projects and stuff. I'm sure many of them would absolutely love that. Now that we've
yes.
met you, so thank you.
Yeah, and they can find my Instagram page, and also
Yes,
I think the Facebook links and everything. And I'm more than happy to kind of, I have my students, few even from UK or Switzerland or
yes,
from India, always contacting me, and I'm more than happy to share my views, opinions, to inspire
great.
anyone. Uh, Not a problem at all.
That's
Looking
really
forward.
wonderful of you. Thank you. I will put all your links on all of the descriptions after all of these videos and on our social media so people can get in touch and see your process, because that video when you're actually creating the art is just incredible to watch. I really did love it. So thank you. And yeah, take care, Srishti. We will be in touch
Thank you
real,
for
real
having
soon.
me.
Love to everyone in India. Take care. Bye for now,
Thank you.
Srishti. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm humbled. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.